This video will demonstrate how to use Google Forms and the Google Sheets add-on formMule to send automatic email responses based on Google Form submissions. The context we're going to be using for this is signing in to a workshop session. This is a great tool for signing into workshop sessions because once someone signs into my session, I can then kick back an automatic email so that participants can have any documents that they need as we get started. To get started with this process, let's head on over to Google Forms and take a look at a sample form I've been working on. Alright, so here I am in my sample Google form, and again, this is going to be for signing into a workshop. I want to take a look and show you a few things that I have on this form that are really important. First, I have a question for first name and last name on here. I like to split that up, and I'm going to show you why when we get into the formMule add-on. I then have a question for email address, and I ask a couple of questions about the workshop they're attending, which one they're attending, and are they seeking graduate credit. What's going to happen is I'm going to let responses to this workshop. This is a bi-weekly workshop that teachers attend all semester long. So I'm going to let these build up and build up all semester. So then at the end of the semester, I can go into the spreadsheet and pull each teacher's attendance record so they can use that for their reimbursement through the university or through the school district. Now that we have created our Google form, we need to also create a spreadsheet to house the responses for this Google form. To do that, I'm going to look at the top and notice that this Google form has two tabs, questions and responses. I'm going to go ahead and click on responses. And in the responses, you'll notice a little green spreadsheet icon. And if I hover my mouse over it, it says create spreadsheet. So I'm going to click that to create a spreadsheet where all the responses to this Google form will automatically live. Now that I'm in this spreadsheet, the next thing I need to do is make sure I have the formMule add-on. Add-ons are little programs that add into specific Google tools. So formMule is only available inside of Google Sheets. I can't look for it inside of Google Forms or Google Docs. That's an add-on, a little program that specifically enhances Google spreadsheets. I'll go ahead and click add-ons, and you'll notice that I already have a whole list of add-ons here. Once you get an add-on, it stays attached to your Google Sheets or Docs or whatever until you manually remove it. If I don't have formMule, I'll just go ahead and click get add-ons, and then I'll search for formMule. You'll see it's a little mule with a Gmail on it. You'll go ahead and click the blue free icon, accept the prompts, and then you should have formMule attached to your Google Sheets. Now that we have added formMule to Google Sheets, we're going to go ahead and click Add-ons, go down to formMule, and click Launch. Alright, so once formMule opens up, the first thing we need to do is choose Source Data and Merge Types. So you'll look here where it says Select Sheet. I'll go ahead and click that drop down, and in this case, this particular spreadsheet only has one sheet, Form Responses 1. Even if you have multiple sheets, maybe you're using this spreadsheet to run a couple of different add-ons for different processes, you want to make sure that you select the sheet that has your form response data, the data that you want to merge. So I click Form Response 1, then you notice that I have two different types of triggers. I have a form trigger or a time trigger. The time trigger will allow me to send this on a specific timer, so 8 o'clock the day after someone signs in. There's also the form trigger, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on the form trigger, and that means that this add-on, this mail merge, will run as soon as someone submits a Google form. And you'll see here that you also can log a case number for each submission and an edit URL for each submission. And what case number does, that just assigns each submission a specific number. The edit URL saves the URL that you can get back to that editable form with. So maybe, the practical use of this is if a student submits a Google form quiz and they need to go back and edit it later. If you run formMule and only log the edit URLs, you can always send that URL back to a student. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And now you can select email templates. So you can send up to 15 different email templates based on conditions in the form. So in the case of a meeting sign-in, the send condition is someone submits a form. Because if you look here under the send condition column, it says send for all rows. That means no matter what the person puts anywhere else on the form, when they hit submit, they're going to get an email from me. Let's say maybe in this particular case, I have two separate groups that would sign into this form. So I'll have two templates. And I'll say template 1 will send if, let's see, are you seeking graduate credit? So if they say yes, they'll get one response, and then they'll get a second response. I'll go to template 2. If on that same question, they select no. So if they say yes on are you seeking graduate credit, they'll get an email probably with something about the graduate credit. And if they say no, I'm not seeking graduate credit, they say no, they'll get an email that has nothing to do with the graduate credit. So it's customized for whatever they select. But like I said, in this example, we just need one template, and we're going to send it for all rows. So now that I've saved that, I'll go ahead and hit Save Settings, and hit Next to create my email templates. On this screen, we'll be able to build all of our template emails. If you notice at the top left corner of the screen, it says template 1. That's the email I'm currently drafting. If you're using more than one email template in formMule, you'll be able to click this drop down arrow and view your other email templates and edit them as well. So we'll start in the to field. Remember in the Google form I said it's really important that we collect the user's email address. So we're going to use these merge tags. And what these merge tags are, this will pull data from a specific cell in the spreadsheet and use this tag. So instead of saying email address here, when formMule is looking at row 2, it will take that text, that email address, and put it in the to field of the email. Then carbon copy, blind carbon copy, we'll go ahead and leave blank. And then the reply to, I'm going to go ahead and put my email address. And then subject. So I typed in a subject, and now I'm going to go ahead and give a little body of the email. So I'll say hi, and then remember I said I suggested having a separate question for first name and last name. That's because I'm going to say hi, first name. So if you notice here, after I clicked the first name merge tag, it put the words first name, a colon, and then that merge tag for first name. So whatever text is in this column for first name will show up right here. I'm going to delete what precedes that, and I'll put an exclamation point afterwards so this looks like a nice personal email. And then I'll type out a little message. Now that I've typed out the body of this email, I actually wanted to put a link in here. So right over here you see where it says, please click here to review the work we did last time. I don't know the HTML by heart for this, and if you are like me and don't know the HTML for embedding a link, formMule actually has a link here where it says HTML friendly. Once you click that link, formMule actually links you to w3schools.com, which is a great place for learning and practicing a variety of different codes. And here on this page, they give us a direct link to HTML text editors. The one that we're looking at specifically here is this HTML links syntax. And this is the exact code that we'll need to embed a link in that please click here text. So what I'm going to do is just highlight this code, copy this code, and then head back to my spreadsheet. And then what I'll do, I'm just going to come back over here, and where it says click here, I'm just going to create a couple spaces, and I'll paste this code. And so here it says URL. So here I'm going to erase inside the quotation marks URL, and I'm going to grab the URL I want to copy. And I just went ahead and copied that to my clipboard, and I'll paste it in here. And then it also says link text. So I'm going to erase where it says link text and just write click here. Then I'll just erase in my sentence where I said click here. And backspace this code up to the word please. So now I'll be able to share out that link for the work we did last time. So when someone opens their email, they'll get this welcome message and they'll have a link on which they can take action as we get started with the course. Once I have created my email template, I can go ahead and click this preview and send all. And this will just, if I have any responses, so I have one sample response up here, it'll show me what that email will look like. So we see that the merge tag first name popped in there, and then I use a merge tag for the name of the course and the current date. And you'll notice that that big old long HTML code turned into a clickable link saying click here. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Since I have one to send, I can hit send now, but when you create this, yours will likely just be blank. So I'll go and hit send now. And taking a look over here at my spreadsheet now, we'll have a case number and a formatted URL because we checked both of those boxes. Now I had deleted this response and then just kind of re-added it so my case number and formatted URL aren't showing up like they're supposed to. But if you look at that third column, the send status, when I click on that, you'll notice up in the formula bar it tells me when this email was sent, from where it was sent, and to whom it was sent. So that shows me that as long as the person who filled out the form put in the correct email address, they have now gotten a welcome email with an important link that they need to get started with the day's workshop. So this has been a brief overview of how to use formMule to sign in to workshops. I hope you found this useful, and use the YouTube comments below to let me know if you have other uses for formMule or an easier way to simplify this workflow. Thanks, and have a great day.